Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Litecoin. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to just discuss a couple of the macro accounts here, and then we're going to go into the shorter time frame stuff. So what we're looking for here is either we could potentially be in a bigger A, B, and a C pattern, in which case we could be looking for a lower target range towards this 1265, depending on how high this B wave comes up here. A minimum requirement we would be looking for would be this 0.618 towards this 3078 region. So anywhere between these zones could technically be a C wave target. So what we're looking for here is that effectively we are treating this as a bigger WX and looking for this as another ABC. Now within this count, what we would be looking for would be the potential of actually forming a triangle here. So we were looking at this potentially looking to reject here, but we actually have come up higher. So the triangle hasn't been validated yet. Invalidation of this would come by crossing either above this 10344 or alternatively by crossing this 7520. Either of those 2 points would invalidate this triangle. What we would be looking for here effectively then would be an A, B, and a C, looking to form this D wave before looking for this E wave to the downside. And then this would actually look to push us up one more time for a C wave, where this would be our A wave, this would be our B wave, and then we'd be looking for that C wave to the upside. Now, if we were looking for that to actually play out, what we'd be looking for as a target, as a triangle here, would actually be looking for this 1-to-1. So I'm just going to throw this onto here. Let's change this over to the 1-to-1. This 145.06. Now this 145.06 would actually be looking to bring us just a little bit higher here than this 1-to-1 of the C wave. So this would be fine. 145.06 could potentially look to actually push us back into the top end of this channel that we are still sitting within. So I would be looking out for this potential here. Now obviously we do have this shorter channel, this channel to the downside rather, that we are currently traveling in. So we need to be aware that until we actually break out of that, we just need to be cautious of that possibility of facing rejection here again, particularly if we do move up here. We do have the central channel line of this upward channel and the descending top channel line here towards the zone of this 106.87, which would also be a retest of this high. So just need to be a bit cautious about that fact if we're looking for that potential of a rejection. Now, another way we were talking about this was actually looking for this as WXY, X, and a Z, in which case what we're looking for here is another 5-wave move to the upside where this becomes A, B, and C, looking for this 1-to-1 at this 1980 region. The 1-to-1 of the previous X wave is up here at this 114.98, so I would be keeping an eye on this level. Obviously, we do have a big zone of resistance here, potentially, that we could see a rejection off of, so I would be cautious about this. Obviously, we do have the top of this other channel here as well that I'll be keeping an eye on, and then we could actually look to, continue to the downside with this. Now, the difference within this count is that the Z wave target area would be slightly higher up because this Y wave is slightly smaller. Now that would be looking to actually bring us down to this 30.87 at a 1-to-1, which would be quite an interesting level. To be fair, it would be coming back into some of these lows that we've got to the left hand side here, so it would be interesting to keep an eye on that as we do look to progress here. Now, the other way that we could argue that we could see this move playing out would be a more bullish standpoint, where we could actually be saying that this move to the upside is actually looking to be a bigger 5-wave structure. And what we would say is that we would have had this as just an A, B, and a C, and now we're looking to push away again in a bigger 5-wave move. Now, the problem that we have within this count is we have a lot of 1s and 2s. So if this was the case, we need to see price action starting to actually break up. So what we'd want to see is for this green wave to be confirmed here, we'd need to see a move up towards this 158.06. Now, we have internals here that would have to meet this requirement first. So we're actually going to come down here into the smaller time frame and go over this. Now, the key thing is here that if this is a 5-wave move here, this would tie into the idea of this being also an ABC. We need to just be cautious of that fact that if we get the first half of this and we fail to achieve this 1618 at this 148.62, this could actually just be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then actually this is just A, B, and C. So this would tie into that idea of a 3-wave move to the upside. So within the 5-wave counts, where we're looking for the C waves, this would potentially, this internal here would be potentially how we are looking to do that. Now, if we have a look at this internal, what we'd be looking at here is effectively that this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, we were talking about this fourth wave actually being shallower. It didn't invalidate by crossing the wave 1, but the problem is it did come quite deep. So we need to just be careful that this isn't just a 3-wave move here, in which case we could get something else going on. So we're going to discuss a couple of options with that. This could actually be W, X, and Y, and we see a move up to this channel and then it's completed, and that's the end of the move, where we could see a potential 1-to-1 looking for this 103. So if we do see this play out towards this 1-to-1 area, this could actually just signal a completed move, and then we could actually look to reject. So we need to be careful of that fact. Now, if however we are looking at this as a 5-wave sequence like this, now I would say that we potentially have a little bit more, because we would argue that this is 1, 2, 3, this would be a fourth as a flat, and then we'd be looking for this as a 5th wave. Now it's possible that we could actually complete here, because if we measure this wave 1, 2, 3, the 0.618 is actually here at this 95.37. So I would be cautious of a potential rejection here. But looking at the internals here, we could also argue that within here we have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're still looking for that 5th wave. So this would be that target box we'd be looking for as a potential 5th wave, where we could look for a move up towards this 103.44 to this 98.09. And what we'd want to see is basically this have an additional 4th and a 5th wave up into these zones. And then what we'd want to see off the back of that would be a 3-wave move to the downside, looking to retest this zone here of this 85.18 to this 97.32. Invalidation of this would come by actually crossing this low point here of the 75.20. So what we want to see is we'd want to see this complete to the upside. Then we'd see a 3-wave move down, and then what we'd be looking for would be our next target. Our next target would be this 123.94, looking for this as a bigger 5-wave move. So this would mean that we would want to see a 3-wave move down back into this target area here, and then seeing this push to the upside in a nice clean 5-wave structure, looking to target out this 123.94. If we do that, we could get an additional 5th wave up towards this 136.71 to this 128.81, as long as we hold this 106 area. Now, the key thing here is if we are looking for this bullish continuation, where we're treating this as a bigger 1-2 pattern, we need to get a push up towards this 148.62 for confirmation, where we could actually then see an additional 4th and a 5th. We can get a 3rd wave which doesn't reach this 1.618. It just becomes more confidence within the structure if we do actually reach this 1618 area. So this will be the zone we're looking for that bullish area that we could see, you know, that continuation come in here. Now, if we are looking at this slightly different, we could also argue that this move is looking to form a diagonal pattern here. Now, this would be treating this move slightly different, and what we'd be doing here within this structure is treating this as a wave 1, 2, looking for a 3rd wave to the upside. Now, the idea would be pretty much the same, except instead of counting this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, what we would be doing is counting this as a single A wave. This is a B wave to the downside here, and then looking for this as a C wave to the upside. So we got some targets here. The thing that we would be looking for here then is that we would be treating this as ABC for 1. This is 2, ABC for 3. Now, we've come up towards this 0.618 of the wave 1 already. So technically speaking, it could complete lower down here. So this C wave could actually complete here, in which case what we'd then be looking for would actually be a 4th wave to the downside from here, and then a 5th wave. So this would actually look to play out within these gray lines here. So this is the one way I'm looking at it. If, however, we do get that additional push up higher up here towards this zone of this 98.90, what we could then see is that this 3rd wave is actually higher up here, where this becomes ABC, 1-to-1 is met at this 98.90, which would also be a 0.786 of this wave 1. So this would mean that we would have this up here. So I've drawn this trend line just loosely based off of this high and this high here. Now, if we did see this play out, what we would then be looking for confirmation would be a 3-wave move to the downside again into this ascending trend line here, and then we'd be looking for an additional 3-wave move to the upside. Now, the key thing here is this 3rd wave is not allowed to cross this 104. If we cross this 104, then that other bullish count is probably playing out, where we're starting to extend directly out here. So be keeping an eye on this. If we do get a move up past this 104, like I said, the diagonal idea falls apart. If, however, we do form this as a diagonal with a 3-wave move back down, another 3-wave move up, this could actually tie in with the idea of this being a 5th wave here, and then we could actually see this play out as an additional wave 2 to the downside. The key thing here would be holding support above this 99 79.93 area and this low point here of the 75.20 before looking for a bigger third wave to the upside, looking to target out this 133.44. Then we would be looking for an additional fourth and a fifth wave to the upside. Once again, the key thing here would be that if we are looking at this in the bullish standpoint here, we'd need to see this actually reach this 148.62. Falling short of this could actually just be that that ABC pattern where we're just looking at this whole move here as a C wave looking to actually complete higher up here. So we need to keep an eye on this. If we fail to achieve that impulsive area, we need to be cautious of that idea of this 5-wave move completes a bigger structure. Now, another thing that we discussed here is that if we rather look to break to the downside, where we're treating this as potentially looking to form a diagonal to the downside. Now, this is also possible for as long as we remain below this 103.44. If we reject down here and actually take this low, this is probably what's playing out. But what we would be looking out for here is effectively we'd be treating this as a wave 2, and then we'd be looking for another 3-wave move down, 3-wave move up, 3-wave move down. So I've based this off of these 0.618s here, and this one is actually based off of this 786 just because it ties in better with actually coming into this trend line that I've drawn here. It doesn't have to form off of this trend line. It could actually be steeper. It just can't cross this 69.78 to the downside. If we cross this 69.78, once again, we would have invalidation here. Now, basically, until we actually break structure here, the bullish count is still viable, but this would just actually be looking at this move slightly different. This would be looking at this bullish count where we were saying that potentially this wave 2, where this is a 1-2 here, we're saying that this wave 2 could still be in play. But the problem is it is getting very large in comparison to this wave 1 here, so it's starting to become less likely if that is the case. If we are looking to break from here, I'd like to actually see it just be directly to the upside from this point, where, like I said, we formed this as a 1-2, and then we're forming 1-2, 1-2, and then looking to push away, or either a diagonal pattern here as a 1-2, and then looking to push away from this area. Looking at the triangle here, the difference with this idea would be, we'd be looking for is effectively this to become A, this to become B, and this to become C. Now, the thing is, if we do push up past this B wave, this would invalidate this count, this 103.44. If we just see this complete here with an additional 5th wave to the upside, this could actually tie into the fact that this is a D wave. Now, what we'd want to see off the back of this would be a 3-wave move to the downside, holding above this C wave here. And what we'd then be looking for is potentially looking to actually target out the 0.618 of this wave B, which would be here towards this 83.49 to this 82.90. Now we can see that that will actually tie in quite nicely to coming back into this trend line here. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this. If we just remain range bound, especially with it becoming a Saturday, you know, sometimes on Saturdays we'll see triangles start developing. So this is something to keep an eye on. If we just see sort of a slow grind down here in a 3-wave move, it could be that we're actually setting up for this E wave here. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. See you in the next one. Take care.